you are live. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Sunset Safari. For those of you joining us for the first time, my name is Jamie, and I have Liam on camera with me this afternoon. And once again, you have the pleasure of one presenter for the majority of the show. But if you keep your fingers crossed and are very well behaved on the back of the vehicle, maybe, just maybe, Mr. James Hendry might make a surprise appearance towards the end. But yes, we're still doing some backstage filming, I suppose you could put it, or just off-air filming for various projects, and thus we are down to one vehicle. Luckily, Rusty has been behaving so far on our trip around quarantine fairly well. As I said, coming to you live, we are on Djuma and Arathusa game reserves within the Sabi Sands, which puts us in the greater Kruger National Park area of South Africa. It's the top northeastern corner of our beautiful country, and the sun is shining after 2 days worth of rain. Everything's looking beautiful and green, and of course that brings exciting prospects for the afternoon in terms of what wonders we could see. Definitely a lovely looking sky. Now don't forget that not only are we live, but we're also interactive, which means that if you have questions or comments that you'd like to make, you can do that on hashtag Safari Live on Twitter, or you can email through to questions@wildearth.tv. We do love to hear from you, and if you're a new viewer, let us know that you're a new viewer. Tell all your friends, tell your family, and let's see if we can continue to increase the size of our large safari vehicle around the world, around the globe. Now my plan for this afternoon is first of all to find as many lovely animals as we can find, go and check some of the dams, see what the levels are looking like after all of the rain. I'm on my way down to Treehouse Dam now, and since the slate, I see you there. Oh no, don't do that, squirrel. Hello, why did you shout at me as I drove past? Are you shouting at another squirrel? I promise you he was making a noise. I'm not crazy. Is he staring at? I don't see anything. Sharp-eyed squirrels, alarm calling for snakes and for eagles, or alternatively for leopards or lions wandering past. I don't think our little trickster is too concerned though. Sometimes they shout at each other as well, and unless you are the great Renius or other experienced trackers, telling the difference between the different calls can be a little bit tricky. And he's hiding behind the marula tree. Alright, well, I don't see anything. I don't see a snake. I think he was... Oh, there he goes. Oh, definitely not a snake if he's down on the ground. Bounce, bounce. Wish I had the same level of agility of a squirrel. So Kerry, who is watching our show and a new viewer, she was wondering how many episodes there are in season 2. And I assume you're talking about our wonderful live safaris, Kerry. I don't know how we would quite go about classifying where our seasons begin and end, although I quite like the idea of doing that. You know, we have season 1 in the wet season of the first year, and season 2 in the dry season of the first year, and so on and so forth. Kerry, if you are looking to rewatch some of the older shows, I'm sure you should be able to find them on YouTube itself. There are a couple of older episodes, if we could call them that. But of course, as I said, we are live, so classifying ourselves on as a season might be interesting. And there's also the archive on Wild Earth TV. So go to our website, have a look at Wild Earth TV, and you should find all of the old episodes settled down there somewhere. And there you go, Kerry, you can catch up. You can have a look at the way things change and the way things stay the same. Maybe even explore the way the different animals have changed and grown. So the lovely thing about these live safaris is that you can essentially watch the entire life of an animal play out, not just coming across on safari for a week or 2 weeks and seeing an animal once off or maybe twice if you're lucky, but you actually get to follow the sagas and the day-to-day triumphs and tragedies of each of our wonderful animals. Who knows, fingers crossed, we might even bump into Queen Karula today. Now, I'm sure she has been deeply distressed that we have neglected her birthday. I'm sure it's probably put a bit of a dampener on her day. And so I shall say the inevitable. Happy birthday, Karula, the Queen of Djuma, the female leopard that has made this the heart of her territory. I'm sure up until right now she was deeply, deeply saddened, missing her birthday wishes. A much beloved leopard female. Now apparently she is 13 today, according to the Panthera documents. Coming into, maybe she's at that age where she doesn't want to be reminded about every birthday. Not the youngest, 13 is fairly old.
How much is that in leopard?
How much is that in leopard? I would say, what does that put her in? Probably about her, it's actually probably putting her close to, you know, 50s, maybe 60s. Generally, female leopards don't live that much further beyond that, but there are exceptions to that. I know her mother lived to about 18. There's a leopard that was last seen on Londolozi who also lived up to about 18 years old. So I think our Queen Karula has many happy birthdays ahead. She still had cubs. She has 2 cubs at the moment, as far as we know. And so she's not yet at the menopausal stage. Yes, so Viam's right. Let's say about 50 odd in leopard years. But happy birthday, Karula, much beloved. Perhaps she will make a surprise appearance for us.
She can get senior discounts.
Senior, yes. Karula can have some senior discounts on the local Steenbok and Deka, and maybe just a pensioner's pass in terms of transport. The Ides of March, Karula, an appropriate birthday date. Beware the Ides of March. Right, let's go and investigate and see how Treehouse Dam is looking like. I wonder this afternoon if Amy is watching. Amy tasked us with finding her a bush baby yesterday evening, a task at which both James and myself failed, unfortunately, but we shall try again this afternoon, Amy. If you are watching our show, she is in Amy in California. Actually, that's a very good point. There might be several Amy's watching our show. I'm actually just looking at the mushrooms in the road. The after effects of the rain that we've been experiencing. Now, most of you will know, with fairly good common sense, that unless you know absolutely which mushrooms are edible and which aren't, you should stay well away from the different types. Steph sent a picture around of, what was it again? It was an inky black, oh, hold on a second, it was an inky black mushroom or something like that. What was it? I don't actually know my mushrooms all that well, to be totally frank. There we go. Inky black cap was Steph's mushroom. That was what he was looking at. I don't know what that is, to be completely frank, but it's nice to see. And some really lovely butterflies fluttering about as well. All coming out after. Oh, that is such a pretty butterfly. Come on, butterfly, come back here. Let's see if it decides to. There it is. Beautiful. What have you got there, Wildy?
Yeah, the butterfly.
Oh, the butterfly was sitting there. It's hanging around the virtual reality rig. Oh, and gone. Brent apparently has managed to get 15 or so different species of butterfly on camera, which is exceptionally impressive. More so on the part of the cameraman, because butterfly are not exactly known for their patterns. That butterfly, so it's something deeply bright and orange and red.
Your name?
Hello everyone. Being out in the bush and being out there live has its technical challenges. We're experiencing some of that now and are working on it as fast as possible to get it sorted and get you back on the vehicle with us. Hello everyone. Being out in the bush and being out there live has its technical challenges. We're experiencing some of that now and are working on it as fast as possible to get it sorted and get you back on the vehicle with us.